So if you work with longer documents in Microsoft Word, you might want to add an index at the end so that your readers can find information quickly. So stick around and I'll show you how to create one today on Roger Talks Tech. An index is a list of key terms and topics along with their page numbers that you typically find located at the end of a document or book. What an index does is allows your readers to locate significant information quickly. Now, before creating an index in Microsoft Word, you first need to mark all of the index entries in your document. And once those entries are marked, you can then generate your index. Now, to mark an index entry, you set the insertion point at the location where you wish to insert the entry, and then hold down the Command-Option-Shift-X keystroke combination if you're using a Mac, or Alt-Shift-X if you're using Windows. Alternatively, you can click the Mark Entry button on the References ribbon. So if the home ribbon was active here, you would then just click the References tab and then click the Mark Entry button here. So I have this document here named Thorough, and I want to create an index at the end of this document. So first off, I need to mark all of my entries. So I'm going to start by going to page 3 here. I'm going to click after Serenity. So I want Solitude to be my main heading and Serenity to be my subheading. So I will hold down that keystroke combination, Command-Option-Shift-X, or Alt-Shift-X if using Windows. And for my main entry, I'm going to type in Solitude. And for the sub-entry will be Serenity. And all I need to do is press the Tab key to move from the main entry box to the sub-entry box. And I'll type in Serenity. And then I will click Mark. And then I will click Close. So let me move to the next one. So I'm going to do Being at Home. That's still under that same Serenity main heading. So we'll press that keystroke combination again. Command-Option-Shift-X. Then type in Serenity. And then Being at Home. So instead of closing this Mark Index Entry dialog here and entering that keystroke combination for every single entry, I actually can just keep this window open and then scroll down to the next location in my document. So I'm going to go down to the next entry. So here I'll click after on Being Alone. And then I'll click into the main entry box in the dialog. So notice it's still populated with the previous entry, but the moment I click in the main entry box, the previous content is removed. So we're still under Serenity, so I'll type in Serenity, and then type On Being Alone. And then I will click Mark. And now move on to my next entry. Okay, so we have a new main entry here, and that's going to be Economy. So I'm going to click after Surface of the Soil here, and I will click in the main entry field of my box, and I'll type in Economy. And in the sub-entry box, Surface of the Soil, and then Mark. Scroll down to Credit, Economy, and then Credit. Mark. Next up is Civil Disobedience. And then the Government. Mark. Next I'll scroll down to, I'll do one more, the Church. Type in Civil Disobedience, and in the sub-entry, the Church. So that'll do it, I think. So now that we've marked all the index entries that are to be included in our index, it's time to choose the index format, and then build the actual index. So Microsoft Word will assemble all of those marked index entries, sort them alphabetically, reference their page numbers, and then display the image in the document. So I'm going to scroll to the last page of my document here. So this is where I want to insert my index. But first off, I'm going to insert a page break. So I'm going to choose Insert, Break, Page Break from the menu so that our index will be inserted on a blank new page. If you're using Windows, you can also use the Control-Enter keystroke combination to insert a page break, or on Mac, use Command-Enter. So now I'm going to type in index, center it, so I'll switch to my home ribbon here, click the center icon, and I think I'll change the font size to about 18. So I'll select the title and then choose 18 for my font size list. Okay, so let me tap my Enter key here, and I want this left aligned. So now I'm going to click the References tab on the ribbon. Now I want to click the Insert Index icon on the ribbon to open the Index and Tables dialog. So first off, I need to select the style for my index. So I think I'm going to choose the Classic style. You do this from the Formats window here. So I want my page numbers to be right aligned. So I'm going to click the Right Align Page Numbers checkbox. And I think I want a dotted line leader as well. So from the tab leader box, I'm going to choose the second option in the list. And we can see what our index will look like from the little preview window here. So that's about it. So I'm going to click OK. And Microsoft Word inserts our index. Now it's important to note that if you make any changes to the structure of your document, such as adding and removing page numbers or adding additional information, you will need to refresh your index manually. Word does not do it automatically. To do so, right-click on the index and then choose Update Field. Word will then update the index to reflect any structural changes that you've made to your document. So here's a little trick that you might want to use. Let me find an index entry here. So rather than using the Mark Index Entry dialog, so what I do is highlight it and then choose Edit, Copy from the menu. Then I move to the next entry, tap Control-V or Command-V to paste, and then just change the text of the code. So here we're still in civil disobedience, so I'll leave that the same, and I'm just going to change the church into individual freedom. And that does it. So now if I go back down and update my index, we've added in those new entries that I just marked. So this copying and pasting of index codes, I actually find this a lot faster than using the traditional method. So use whatever works the best for you. And that is it for creating an index in Microsoft Word.